it's very nice for me to present my my topic today. My topic is basically about the vaccine and the global tourism outlook, and I'm going to give information about the restart progress of the cruise industry in the world, talking about different approaches adopted by different regions, and I'm going to share the effectiveness of the vaccines, regarding the safety of the cruise ships, and also I'm going to talk about the Asian experience, right? Our progress of the restart in the other Asian countries or the regions, and then finally I will touch upon the what is our thoughts on the restarting the cruise industry in North Asia. I'm talking about resumption of cruises between China and South Korea and Japan. So let me first of all give some quick the heads up for the global healthy restart progress, right? So we're talking about the four major the cruise companies, cruise groups, right? Royal Caribbean, the Carnival, and the MSC, and the Norwegian Cruise Line. So cut a long story short, Royal Caribbean has already have ships operating since the summer, right? And by the spring of next year, all of our ships, 26 ships, will return, right? So Carnival has a similar story, and the other cruise lines like an MSC, Norwegian Cruise Line, they have a similar story. So the global cruise industry is basically coming back. Now let's talk about different approaches adopted by different regions, right? We talk about we are talking about the three the cruise regions, which is the North America, European, and APAC. Europe started resume the cruises starting from last summer, right? And their approach is basically try to create a safe bubble, that by adopting the testing and also the protocols on board, they make sure that the cruise ship is a safe bubble, and they have been doing very well. Although there are some isolated cases, but overall they managed to control the risk to the minimum. Now, North America, the largest cruise region in the world, they started the restarting from the summer or earlier. They're starting from the cruises outside the USA first, and from the home port of Miami and the Alaska, right? So American approach differs from the European approach in that the not only adopting protocols on board, not only testing people before embarkation, but in North America, the guests are basically required to have a vaccines. Although in Florida, we have a difficulty and we have a challenge from the governor who's against the mandating the vaccine requirement for the guests. But overall, our guests, basically most of them, if not 100%, they are taking vaccines, right? In Asia, the approach is more conservative, right? Differing from American and European approach. In both North American and European regions, basically, the itineraries are international itineraries with destinations. But in Asia, so far, the resumption cruises is confined with the either domestic itinerary like the Taiwan of China, or the cruise to nowhere without destination in Singapore and Hong Kong, in Singapore and Hong Kong. Now let me play back a video of the scenes in North America when the first cruise ship restarted. Right, this is the Royal Caribbean ship, the Edge of a Celebrity brand. So you see, the industry is pretty excited, and we are coming back. What I want to say regarding the outcome so far for the restart process is that there are not zero cases on board. There are some cases, but the number of cases is so small, is so close to zero, right? We are talking about the reproduction number. In the US mainstream, the reproduction number is something like 1.1 or above. But on cruise ships, because we take the strict measures, preventive measures, and we quickly, if we found any case, then we will quickly isolate the case and the test the case and send the guest home, so that we can minimize the risk. So the R0, if we're talking about the reproduction number on board, is really close to zero, right? It's close to zero. Okay, now let's look at the Asian experience. Right. Since November last year, two cruise companies, starting from Genting in November last year, and then the December by the Royal Caribbean in December last year, and we've been doing the cruise to nowhere. So far, there are the 220 sailings in total, and we have 250,000 guests on board, and there have been no positive case so far. So it's pretty smooth, pretty successful, and the guests are very happy because load factor is something like less than 50% or sometimes even lower right? So it's very, very enjoying the environment on board, very comfortable, right? Okay, now let's talk about everybody nowadays want to talk about the effectiveness of vaccines, vaccination, right? So I show you two diagrams. Diagram one on the left is basically the deaths in the countries with high vaccination rates above 60%, right? Above 60%. From the 1st of May to the 29th of July, you see the significant declination of the death in the countries with the high vaccination rates. The diagram on the right is showing the vaccination rates in countries less than 30%. Then you can see the up and down, right? Initially you see the deaths going down, then you see it going up, so that there's no improvement, right? So you see, against the variants like the Delta rates, right? Vaccines become less effective. So initially against the original the virus, we're talking about 95. Maybe against Delta the variants, we're talking about 85% protection, right? But still effective, especially it managed to control the hospitalizations and also the death rates. This is very important, right? Okay, now let's look at the why the cruise ship is more safe than any places on the earth. It's because we take the measures. First of all, before the embarkation, we done the vaccination, we do the PCR test, we do the health screening. We make sure that the probability for anybody carrying the virus on board by the embarkation is a small probability event. Then if there is something happen on board, and we can take quick measures to isolate guests, right? And we will closely monitor the situation, right? The air conditioning, the ventilation system is fresh air, 100% fresh air. So we manage there is no way the virus can be spread on board. Then if something happened, then we quickly isolate the cases, and we do the testing, we isolate cases and quarantine people, and we send the guests home, right? So the other guests' life on board is not disrupted, right? And also talking about the consumer confidence level is still very high. That the booking is going very well, and the people might question that the guests, because of the Diamond Princess event, that the guests do not want consumer confidence is a hit, but actually in North America, in Europe, in Singapore, and in Hong Kong, we see the booking is pretty good, right? So people, I don't think the human nature of the wanting the gathering has been changed, right? Okay, now before I finish my presentation, I want to quickly talk about the how we should restart the cruises in this region. I mean the North Asia region. And in this region, we are talking about 3 countries: China, South Korea, and Japan, right? And before the border between the 3 countries are open, it may take a while, right? But before that, we still can do something. And especially between China and South Korea. Next year marked the 30th anniversary of the 2 countries having the diplomatic relationship established. And this is a good opportunity for us to talk about resuming the normal cruises between China and South Korea. We know since 2017, and all the cruises from China are canceled, right? But it's already been 3 to 4 years. Now it's a time for us to come back, and the relationship between 2 countries is in a good shape, and also the China and the South Korea doing relatively well regarding the prevention of the virus. Although there are still some cases in South Korea, but I'm sure your vaccination is progressing, and the prevalence level is going down. So that by the end of this year, I'm sure that you will be in a good shape, good status to talk about resume cruises. So next year we can talk about the resumption cruises between two countries. Let's lobby the government in two countries that to get back for the normal cruises. But before that, one thing we can do is to do cruise nowhere between two countries, and we can use the concept of technical call. Technical means that it's a cruise to nowhere from China, that we are only calling the South Korean ports, say Jeju, or the Busan, or the Incheon, by technical call. That is our ship will not make the actual call, on the South Korean port. We will dock outside the port, maybe at the entrance of the port or the anchorage, that we do the customer clearance, and it will be a very brief, short call. Once we finish the customer clearing, we leave the Korean territory water and back to the international water, but we still pay the port fees for the Korean port, and it caused no risk to Korean ports, that because there is no actual people landing or no people embarking on our ship. There is no exchange of goods between our ship and the Korean ports. So there's no risk. But the reason of doing this is really to test the effectiveness of the protocols, and to regain the confidence of the local community in each port on our cruise ship, and also pave the way for the resumption of normal cruises next year. And also that if we can use a technical call, try to get approval, right, from both governments, right, for the resume cruises next year. Instead of waiting for next year, let's get prepared this year and get approval for technical call. And then we make sure that we run this technical call smoothly without causing any problems, and the people see the no risk. So the next year, when time is ready, when the border is open, we can resume the normal cruise immediately. So that's the idea we propose to all of you. I hope you can help us to get approval for the technical call for cruise ship, the home porting from China, and let's start from there. So that's my speech, and thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for your support.